Alright, what's good YouTube? So welcome to a video of Skate. Now in today's video I'm going to be talking about a bunch of features that I would love to see eventually get added to this game. Now some of these features are going to be features that were in old games like Skate 1, 2, and 3. And some of these features are going to be stuff that was never actually in the Skate series. It's features that either I just thought of that would be cool in this game, or stuff that was featured in Skitter XL or Session. And a lot of these features that we're going to talk about in this video I think will be really beneficial for keeping the lifespan of this game while also making the fans very happy. So let's just go ahead and get right into this. Alright, so the first feature that I'm going to go ahead and talk about, and this is a feature that everybody has been talking about and has been very mad about, and it is the fact that the replay editor has no keyframes. So we come right here and we open the replay editor, and if you look right here at the camera selection tab, you can see that there's a couple different presets that we can use for the camera. So there's gameplay, which is basically what the footage is like as you are doing it. There's head, which is, you know, filmed at your head. There's board, which is filmed at your board. There's free camera, which means you can do whatever you want with it. And then there's tripod, which basically sets the camera in one place and then follows the skater wherever it goes. Now don't get me wrong, I do like some of the presets and I did actually enjoy them for making a skate edit. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and look at it on my channel. But you can make a skate edit with those, you know, presets with the camera, but it makes it so much harder and so much more time consuming to get the final product that you were looking for. So there's actually a couple features that I want them to add to the replay editor, and one of those features is, you know, obviously keyframes. I want them to add keyframes, so then, you know, if, let's say I wanted to film this nose slide nollie heel right here, I could actually get up all close and film it fisheye or film it far away and not have to use the camera's presets, you know. Another feature that I think they should add is the ability to lean and tilt the camera like you can in Skitter XL. So that's a feature that, you know, I think should be in this game. But other than that, the replay editor is actually pretty good. It's pretty smooth, and I haven't had much problems with it. So those are really the only two features that I think the replay editor needs. Back blunt, kickflip. You can come right here, 5-0. Okay, and then kickflip back tail. It's a fakie. Nice. The next feature that I think Skate 4 needs is a better object dropper. Actually, not an object dropper, a park builder. Alright, so if I open this menu right here, not this one, this menu right here, we have the object dropper menu. So this is called Quick Drop, and basically it's pretty self-explanatory. You have a few different obstacles you can pick from, and you can drop these around the map. Now don't get me wrong, I don't think this is a bad feature. You know, it can be really nice if you're trying to build little skate spots, or, you know, trying to like gap the tri-towers or stuff like that. But I seriously think that this park builder is completely lacking compared to Skate 3. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but back in Skate 3, you used to be able to build parks, and you used to be able to do a lot with the park builder. There used to be basically an unlimited amount of objects that you could place, the only limitation being the amount of storage you had in the park. But now, here in Skate 4, instead of being able to place as many objects as fit in the storage meter, you have a limit of 5 objects. So I'm just gonna quickly place down 5 of the same ramps. Alright, so right here we place down 5 little kicker ramps. Now let's say I want to place down one more kicker ramp. Well, if I do, it says this: replace oldest object. You have reached your dropped object limit. Adding a new object will delete the oldest object. So if I hit yes, well, then it deletes this object. So no matter what I do, I am stuck at a max of 5 objects placed. And honestly, that kind of makes me mad because Skate 3 came out a whopping 15 years ago. And you could make parks with up to, I think, around 100 to 300 objects inside of the single park. And now you can barely even put 5 objects in the map, and then they tell you that you've ran out of space. And that honestly makes me really mad. Another thing is in Skate 3, you used to be able to collide up to 3 objects, so you could take 3 objects, collide them all together, and turn it into one really cool object. But now here in Skate 4, I'm gonna place this kicker ramp. Yep. And then I'm gonna grab this other kicker ramp, And let's say I want to combine these two kicker ramps into one obstacle. Well, I can't. These objects do not collide. They will rub against each other. I can place these objects next to each other, but I cannot place these objects inside of each other into one object. And it makes me sad because I spent a lot, and I mean a lot of my time in Skate 3 just building skate parks, sometimes mega parks, sometimes super realistic parks, you know, anything that I felt like building. And now I just feel like you have so much less creativity in Skate 4, and it really makes me sad. But alright, let's move on to the third thing that I think Skate 4 needs. Alright, now the next feature I am about to bring up, I don't know if this feature is going to get changed in the future of Skate 4, but the feature I'm going to bring up is where the fuck are all the missions? And Skate 4 is seriously lacking in game modes. I mean, the only 3 game modes that you will really see around the map are stunts, which are basically kind of like what Skate 3's Hall of Meat was. There's sessions, which is basically just you get a certain amount of time to complete as many challenges as possible. And then there's lines, where basically you just try to put together the best line you can. And then there's On the Spot, which I'm pretty sure everybody knows what On the Spot is, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You do the best trick that you can at that spot and you own the spot. But other than that, and a couple campaign missions, there is nothing else to do in this game. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but Skate 3 had team games, and you could do one-up challenges where you basically tried to one-up the previous person's trick. And if you were able to one-up this previous person's trick, then your team logo and all of your teammates' logo would go onto the obstacle that you beat the previous person on. But now in Skate 4, even though it is a live service game, there is no team game modes, there's no team challenges, there's no playing with a team and putting your team logo on any spots. There's none of that. And another thing is there's no game of skates, and that also really makes me confused. You're telling me this game is live service and you don't have the ability to play against your friends in a game of Skate? So yeah, they need to add at least every game mode that they had in Skate 3 and some more game modes, in my opinion. I think that they should innovate with the game modes. But alright, let's move on to the next feature that I think Skate 4 needs. Now, a lot of people talked about this feature, and everybody who wants this feature I 100% agree with, and there needs to be some sort of way to either have private sessions or a private lobby, or there needs to be an offline mode or some way to where you don't have to constantly be in a match with a bunch of people. Don't get me wrong, I think there's fun aspects of the live service of this game, but I think it gets annoying when people are sitting there griefing and ruining your spots and placing rails in front of your gap and shit like that. It's fun to be able to play with your friends and everything and, you know, enjoy the online aspect of this game, but I am sick of people teleporting to me and absolutely griefing the living shit out of me. Like, it's honestly just getting annoying at this point. You know, it's alright to have the game be live service and be online only, but there needs to be some sort of way to play by myself, like at least a private session, or, you know, a friends only session or something like that, to where I'm not constantly having to be bombarded by randoms and random people destroying the fun of this game. Alright, but let's go ahead and move on to the next feature, and the next feature that I think Skate 4 needs is actually to do with the skateboarding of this game, and I think there needs to be a way to control your front foot catch and back foot catch. Now, what I mean by this is I wish there was a way to control how I caught the board mid-air. So let's go ahead and open my replay editor. So right there, I just did a kickflip, and when I did that kickflip, I caught the board right there with my back foot. As you can see, my back foot grabbed the board before. Now, although I can control the speed of my kickflip, I can't control the animation of my kickflip, and every time I do a kickflip, it will be caught with my character's back foot. Now, I wish, similar to Skitter XL and Session, there was a way to control if I could catch the board with my front foot or my back foot, or, you know, sometimes both feet, or whatever I end up wanting to. Because then that would make it so the style is even more controllable in this game, but also it would just make shit look so clean to be able to do like a perfect tray flip and then, you know, catch that bitch with like my front foot. That shit would look so nice. And staying on the topic of features from Skitter XL and Session, another feature that I think should be in Skate 4 is a stats menu. Now, if you've never played Skitter XL or Session, session, you might not know what a stats menu is, but a stats menu is basically a menu that lets you control everything about the way that you skate in this game. So you can change your pop height, your push force, your manual pop height, your grind pop height, how much rails pull you towards them when you ollie on them, you know, how easy it is to do grabs, everything like that. You can control each input for your skating. You know, I think it would be a nice feature in this game if you could control like the manual pop height and like the grind pop height and just like little features like that. So then, you know, if you're filming a clip and you're like, God, I keep popping out of that ledge too high, how can I make it look good? Well, then you can go into your stats menu and go, all right, well, let's lower the grind pop height, and the next thing you know, your clips would look clean. Because I've noticed a couple times in this game, and it's not all the time, it's only every once in a while, but sometimes tricks will just look super floaty. My character will pop unnecessarily high for certain tricks, and it'll just look super unrealistic in my opinion, and I don't know, I just think that it would be nice if you could change these settings in Skate. The next feature actually isn't inspired by any of the older Skate games or Skater XL. This is just a feature that I've noticed that would be actually pretty convenient if they do in Skate 4. But they need to make it so when you run and you jump onto a wall like this, but they need to make it so you can wall run a meter higher than you normally could. But they should make it so when you're doing that and you're running up to a wall to climb it, they should make it so you can go 1 meter higher than you already can, because that would make it so much more useful for getting onto taller things and for, you know, getting out of spots when you're stuck and stuff like that. But I can probably show a better example of what wall running looks like right here. So we run up, we jump, and see how he grips the wall and then he pushes himself up. So they should make it so you can do that, but a meter higher than you could normally do it, because I think that would be hella useful for, you know, climbing buildings and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know, I just think that's a feature they should add. Another feature that they should add that I don't really understand why they took away is the feature to hold on to the back of vehicles and use them as transportation. In Skate 3, if I hit R1 or I think RB on Xbox, I would grab on to the back of a vehicle that I was behind and they would kind of like pull me wherever I wanted to hold on to. But now in Skate 4, this is no longer a feature, and I do think they should add it back. And if they do add it back, they need to make these cars go a little faster, because I'm going way faster than this truck, and I barely pushed. And if I really do start pushing, then you can notice I get way ahead of the truck. So if they do add skitching back to Skate 4, they should definitely increase the speed that some of these cars travel at. But other than that, that's definitely a feature they should add. But yeah, other than that, I think that's going to do it for today's video. I talked about pretty much every feature that I really do want to see in this game, but if there is anything that you guys think I missed, then go ahead and comment it down below. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and peace out.